Attar Farid ud-Din of Nishapur. Abu Hamid bin Abu Bakr Ibrahim, 1145 or 1146 to 1221, is better known by his pen names Farid ud-Din and Attar, the perfumer. Attar was from Nishapur, a major city of medieval Khorasan, now located in the northeast of Iran. And from this we get the name by which he is perhaps better known, Attar of Nishapur, and this is his tomb. He was not well known as a poet in his own lifetime, and his greatness as a mystic, a poet, and a master of narrative was not discovered until the 15th century. We have found a video that provides a good biographical outline of his life, and this is in the playlist. Attar of Nishapur is described in the guest video as a pharmacist, which in coded language means he was an alchemist. He openly admitted to going into a trance condition in order to receive his poems. He travelled widely to Baghdad, Basra, Kufa, Mecca, Medina, Damascus, Khwarizm, Turkistan and India, meeting with Sufi Shaykhs, and returned promoting Sufi ideas. Attar reached an age of over 70, but died a violent death in the massacre which the Mongols inflicted on Nishapur in April 1221. The poetry of divine love. All Attar's poems involve divine love in one context or another. The Triumph of the Soul, translated by Margaret Smith in the Persian Mystics. Joy, joy, I triumph. Now no more I know myself or simply me. I burn with love unto myself and bury me in love. The centre is within me, and its wonder lies as a circle everywhere about me. Joy, joy, no mortal thought can fathom me. Many Sufi poets refer to the wine of intoxication, but this should never be taken literally as being the beverage. To a Sufi, intoxication is spiritual ecstasy. Intoxicated by the wine of love, translated by Margaret Smith from the Shrijawar al-Dat. From each a mystic silence love demands. What do all seek so earnestly? 'Tis love. What do they whisper to each other? Love. Love is the subject of their inmost thoughts. In love no longer thou and I exist, for self has passed away in the beloved. In other words, when divine love is received, a mystic silence is appropriate as the lover and the loved are united, and the feeling of being an individual is removed from all-pervading consciousness. Know then that both this visible world and that which unseen is alike our God himself. Naught is save God, and all that is God. Thou all creation art, all we behold. In effect, dark matter and non-dark matter, visible and invisible, function and form, all are God. But in having said that, the soul itself, invisible, and thus to us dark matter, contains within it the very essence of God, the immortal soul. The soul within the body lies concealed, and thou dost hide thyself within the soul. O soul in soul, mystery in mystery hid, before all wert thou, and are more than all. At which point it is time to look at Attar's perhaps best known work, his conference or Parliament of the Birds, Mantiq al-tair, an allegorical story based on the search for the source of divine love. And its real strength is that it provides a description of the spiritual path used to attain divine love and annihilation, ego death, even if it is allegorically described. The Parliament of the Birds. Parliament of the Birds is an allegory of the spiritual path. It tells the story of a flock of birds led by the hoopoe, their guru, to find the Simurgh. In doing so, they cross 7 valleys until they get to the centre, where the Simurgh is said to be. The poem is a long one, so we have included in our playlist a video where the story is read by children attending the Ismaili College in the USA. The symbolism in Attar's poem is extensive, so in order that you can delve deeper into its meaning, we have also provided links in the description to videos that should help understanding. In our diagram showing the spiritual path, you will see there are 7 stages, corresponding to the stages towards enlightenment, and thus equating to the 7 valleys. But the end stage is ego death, annihilation, as the strong sense of self and the big I am is finally destroyed on day 7, and the person becomes their higher spirit. And by doing so, they themselves merge to become the Simurgh. In other words, they become a part of God. Of moths and birds. Attar also wrote a shorter poem dealing more specifically with this final stage of annihilation, using the allegory of moths being burnt by the flame of a candle, which more succinctly describes this process. Whether moths or birds, all these seekers are travelling to be annihilated by the flame of divine love and become one with God. It might be noted that this is actually a brave thing to do, and just as it is in practice, many of the birds and moths make excuses and fall by the wayside. The Moths and the Flame by Farid in Attar. English version by Afkham Darbandi and Dick Davis. Original language Persian, Farsi. Moths gathered in a fluttering throng one night to learn the truth about the candlelight, and they decided one of them should go to gather news of the elusive glow. One flew till in the distance he discerned a palace window where a candle burned, and went no nearer. Back again he flew to tell the others what he thought he knew. The mentor of the moths dismissed his claim, remarking he knows nothing of the flame. A moth more eager than the one before set out and passed beyond the palace door. He hovered in the aura of the fire, a trembling blur of timorous desire, then headed back to say how far he'd been and how much he had undergone and seen. The mentor said, "You do not bear the signs of one who's fathomed how the candle shines." Another moth flew out. His dizzy flight turned to an ardent wooing of the light. He dipped and soared, and in his frenzied trance, both self and fire were mingled by his dance. The flame engulfed his wingtips, body, head. His being glowed a fierce, translucent red. And when the mentor saw that sudden blaze, the moth's form lost within the glowing rays, he said, He knows the truth we seek, that hidden truth of which we cannot speak. To go beyond all knowledge is to find that comprehension which eludes the mind, and you can never gain the longed-for goal until you first outsoar both flesh and soul. But should one part remain, a single hair will drag you back and plunge you in despair. No creature's self can be admitted here, where all identity must disappear.